My name is Jennifer, or Tuptajuki. So I wanted to share a little bit about what I do, especially in preparation for a 2-day retreat. So this 2-day retreat is going to be led by a teacher in a Dharma center that is located in Queensland. But I wanted to give you a bit of insight into what a translator does in order to prepare. So it takes a lot of time to get experience, many years, where you don't really have to prepare that much. But the translator is somebody that is in a position that needs to have their own broad understanding of what the Buddha taught and what is taught in the monasteries and nunneries. And if you're translating for a specific lineage, for example, the Galupa lineage, you need to be quite familiar with what they study in those Galupa monasteries and nunneries. So as an interpreter, you're given a specific topic that we need to become much more familiar with. So the subject matter itself you need to be familiar with in Tibetan, of course, but you also need to be familiar with it in the English language. So this weekend we're going to be discussing about the meaning of the Heart Sutra. So I like to prepare several days, if not several weeks in advance. But this time circumstances prevented Geshe and I from doing that together. But so as a way to help prepare for this topic, Geshe sent me very kindly a commentary on the essence of the Heart Sutra, a PDF, electronic book, EPUB. So I'm grateful for this. However, it is 62 pages. Those pages granted aren't like A4 size. I think they're probably about A5. But it's about 30 pages of non-stop Tibetan script. So rather than usual way of preparation, Geshe usually gives a bit of a talk, discussion, and we can have a questions and answers, which I'm hoping to do, that we'll do tonight. But with the text, it's my responsibility to learn how to skim over this text and really extract the important points that I need to remember. But in order to do that, I need to read and comprehend all of the text, all of the book. So I don't know about other translators, but my strength is definitely listening to an explanation rather than reading on a text base. So it's a little slow and painstaking going through this text, and the retreat starts tomorrow. So it's a little bit of involved, and hopefully I'll get the opportunity to prepare further with Geshe. Yes, I'll get the opportunity to ask my questions, but there's a lot of preparation even to get to that point where I'm in a position to ask a question, because one must review the content that's in front of oneself, yeah? So anyway, I'd like to give you a little example of what the translator does behind the scenes. So here we have one of the pages. Tumblr oki then namchumwe gyuni. So I won't go into detail, but it's just an example. You've got a typical layout of a Tibetan carpentry that gives the divisions and then goes through each of the divisions. So first it's the cause of the question by Avalokiteshvara, Shariputra, to Avalokiteshvara, and the way that the question and answers took place. So, as you can see, there's 62 pages altogether, and I need to go over what exactly it's talking about and then make a decision about what's important for me to remember as part of my preparation for the weekend retreat. So you can see here I've made a few notes, and I've got a few question marks to go along with it. So as I pull out words that I don't know, I try to make a understanding in my own mind that I try to choose the best English words, English vocabulary. So it takes time. It takes a lot of time. But I enjoy the process and learn a lot in the process. So here you can see that's the top of my head. So I'm taking notes as Geshe is speaking. So Geshe is speaking in Tibetan, of course, and he speaks in a very straightforward, a clear and concise way. So it does. My comprehension is quite good. But while I'm listening to the Tibetan, I've also got the English, a rough translation going in my head. But then as that rough English translation is going, I can't write word for word. I have to develop a shorthand to take notes. So I'm having to choose the shorthand words that I want to use that will remind me of exactly what Geshe said in that moment. And then when I start speaking, I need to remember from the top of my notes, the start of the notes of that segment, what the shorthand represents, and put it in a way, choosing out of all the vocabulary that is in my mind, English vocabulary, and making sure I get the message, the meaning across to the listeners in a clear and concise way is what Geshe is doing himself. So as an interpreter, and then also being sensitive to all cultural differences, ways of speaking, expressions, etc., there may look on the surface level or at face value some sort of smooth, Tibetan speaking, English speaking, but below the surface, as a translator, there is no break, no mental downtime, and therefore there is necessarily no room for any mental distraction whatsoever. So what I do, in between the next segment and the latter segment, there is maybe half a second for a bit of, I did that really well, or not did that at all very well. But there is Geshe already started speaking by that time, and you need to draw your attention back to your ear sense consciousness. So just a little bit of a reflection about what's actually going on here. Geshe is speaking, I'm taking notes, I'm doing shorthand. And then when I get back to when Geshe is finished, and I get back to the top of the page, and then I need to put it into coherent English that a Western person would understand. So this process goes on for an hour and a half. So really, it's quite a mental acrobatics is what I really refer to it, and it's a process that is a skill, and that skill can be built upon as one practices more and more. It can be improved. So this is really the start of my second year that I'm doing on a weekly or a little bit more regular basis. But I've been studying Japan language for literally 20 years. So half my life. So very fortunate. Just under half my life. So very fortunate to be in a position that I am, but just so much room for better, more improvement. So I hope to have the opportunity for years and years, decades and decades into the future. All right, thanks for listening. I hope this provides a little bit of insight. I better get back to preparing. For this week's retreat on the essence of the Heart Sutra, a retreat led by the teacher at Genresic. Okay, thanks for listening. Bye.